How's it going, people? TheCompleteRS here, and welcome to your quest guide for Regicide. No fast forwarding, no nonsense, just what we need to know then, let's get into it. So quest requirements, you need to have done Underground Pass for this one. Skill wise, you'll want 56 agility or higher, and level 10 crafting. Item wise, you'll require something along the lines of 3 rope, a bow you can actually use just like you had in the Underground Pass, and some arrows to go along with it. So you'll want something like a maple short, and maybe some iron arrows, something along those lines. Just as long as you can use the bow and the arrows to go along with it, as you need to make a fire arrow to get through the Underground Pass. In your bank, you'll want 30 coal and 1 limestone. That's a normal limestone, not a limestone brick. It has to be a regular one. And the rest of your inventory can be filled with your empty pot, your stripper cloth, cooked rabbit, and a plank. And whatever space you got left, fill it with munchies. You want 2 inventory spaces just to save yourself a bit of a hassle. And you'll also want some combat gear as well. Right, in order to start this quest, you should receive a random message from a messenger about 15 minutes or so after you complete the Underground Pass. So if you literally just complete that, just hang around for 20 minutes or so, and you should get a messenger, and it allows you to start this quest. As soon as you've got that message, you want to come up to the East Ardy Palace, and go ahead and speak to King Lathus. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and speak to this fella, quickly run through his chat. And you now got to run all the way through the entirety of the Underground Pass. Although fortunately all the puzzles and stuff are solved this time around because you've already done it. Just a little bit quicker than usual. Still, it takes a little while, so head out of the palace and go into West Ardone. And once you're in West Ardone, run all the way to your west and into the cave to get to the Underground Pass. So once you're over here, go ahead and enter the cave. And it's time to go through the Underground Pass once again. So as soon as you appear inside, you want to take the northern route past the Poison Swamp. So go ahead and climb over the rock obstacle. Climb over the second one about halfway through. And then climb over the third to get back onto the main path. Go ahead and speak to Koftik nearby, and he'll end up giving you a damp cloth. Go ahead and use that damp cloth on one of your arrows. Then right click on that arrow and light it up. Equip that fire arrow and your bow. Go to the northern platform. And fire at the guide rope on the bridge. Once you do so, you'll run around, and it's time to pass. So once you're across the bridge, you want to run down towards your south, follow the pathway towards your east. And eventually you'll come to this little chasm. On the north side, you want to use a rope on the old spike. You may have to turn your camera angle around and right click where the actual old spike is in order to actually use it. It's a bit of a faff. So use your rope on the old spike. Once you do so, you'll make your way across. Once you're over here, follow the pathway onwards. Cross over the rock slide and enter the room in the southwest. And this is 5x5 grid from the Underground Pass. Hopefully you remember at the very least the first square you need to cross over. And then you can just surge across. If not, it's trial and error to get past. So hopefully you remember. If you do, go on to the first step, walk all the way to the end, surge across, and then simply pull the lever. Carry on running past to your west then. There's some traps on the walls here. You can go ahead and either dismantle them or surge past them. It's entirely up to you. Once you pass those traps, head down the well. Run all the way over to your west to the jail area, and you want to enter the first jail you come across on the south side. Go ahead and picklock it to enter. Then you want to dig the odd mud mound in the south side. Follow this pathway down towards your south, and you'll see a little obstacle here. Go ahead and climb across. If you happen to fail this obstacle, you'll be back in the jail area. Just go back to the jail. Then you want to go across the wooden walkway. Very straightforward. There's not exactly a difficult puzzle. Just follow this all the way across towards your east. At the first intersection, go south, and then the second one, go north, and then follow the path all the way to the east. Follow this pathway down all the way to your south then, and right at the far southern side you'll see a little pipe you can climb through on the western side. Go ahead and do so. Once you're in here, go through the cave entrance to the north. Follow this pathway around, and at the very end you'll find a well and a doorway. Just go through the doorway. It's a pretty long path. So once you're at the end, make your way through the doorway, and you'll be back in the giant ass cavern I'm sure you remember from Underground Pass. From here you want to run a touch towards your south, until eventually you come across a little bridge. As soon as you do so, make your way in towards the centre chamber. So this is the one you want to climb on, so make your way in. From the second platform you want to go south towards the centre. Keep going south. And eventually you start coming across these Zami followers. Once you do that, you know you're in the right place. So make your way into the main temple where Ivan was. And once you're inside, everything will change. Go ahead and climb down the well. And then run all the way out to your west and exit the cave. Welcome to the Elflands. So from here you just want to run a touch towards your west. Eventually you'll come across a elf by the name of Idris. Go ahead and speak to him. Run through his chat nice and quick, and then eventually get ambushed by elf ninjas. So once that's happened, you want to go a touch towards your south. You'll see this dodgy patch of grass. Go ahead and jump over that. This is the bane of everyone's existence in the Elflands, and if you have low agility, you will fail it constantly. Jump over it though, nonetheless. Make your way into this main little area here next to the musician, and then run a touch towards your west. And between these two trees, you'll see some sticks on the floor with some spikes. Go ahead and pass those. Again, this is also a bit of a pain in the ass with low agility. If you're lucky, you'll just pass straight past. Lovely. So once you pass that, run a touch down towards your south, and eventually you'll come across a relatively large area, and the lodestone for his avatars here, go ahead and activate it, as we will be making use of it. So make sure you activate the Tyrannon lodestone. Once that's done, we now need to go all the way up towards your northwest. So literally just where we just came from. Keep clicking on your minimap all the way up towards the northwest. It's a fairly straight path. Eventually you'll come across another one of those leaf traps on the floor, you know, the discolored patch of grass. Go ahead and jump across that right by here. Once you've done that, run up towards your north. Eventually you'll come across a river, and it'll be a little log crossing. Make your way across that. And welcome to the elf camp. So towards the centre of this camp you'll find an NPC by the name of Lord Iorwerth. Go ahead and speak to him. Run through his chat. And then go ahead and home tele to Tyrannon. Right next to the lodestone you'll find the elf tracker. Go ahead and speak to him. Run through the tracker's chat. Choose option 2, buy. Once you've done that, you now need to head all the way back up and speak to Lord Iorwerth again. So once again from the lodestone, run all the way up towards your northwest. Just keep clicking on your minimap, it'll automatically run you up there. Until eventually you come across the leaf trap, the discoloured piece of grass, and jump across that. From here, run directly to your north till you hit the river, and cross the log. So once you've crossed the log, you'll be in the elf camp. Head to the centre and speak to Lord Iorwerth. Run through his chat once again. He'll give you a little necklace. Ah. Once you've got that, go ahead and home teleport back down to Tyrannon, and we need to speak to the elf tracker once again. Run through the elf tracker's chat. And just a touch to your west, towards the dense forest, you'll see some footprints on the floor. Go ahead and search those. Once you've checked those footprints, you want to speak to the elf tracker once again. Run through his chat. Option 2, buy. And then you want to climb through the dense forest just to the west of those footprints. These things right by here. So climb through all 3 of these. And as soon as you go past, a guard will spawn. Go ahead and stab it in the face. You then want to make your way up towards your north. There's a crossbow trap right here with a tripwire. Go ahead and click on the tripwire to try and pass it. 90% of the time you will fail this, so don't worry if you do. Once you've done so, make your way through the dense forest to your north. Now follow the pathway around to your west, and you'll come across another set of dense forest on the south side, almost directly south of the catapult. Climb through these. Welcome to the Terrace Camp. So in the centre of the Terrace Camp you'll find General Heining. Go ahead and speak to him. Run through his chat. And at this point you want a couple of inventory spaces. You want to pick up some empty barrels around the camp. They're all around the southern tent. You want to pick up at the very least 2, as this next part we need to distill some naphtha, which can be a bit of a pain in the ass. You also do require it for Morning's End Part 1, so if you want to grab a second set of naphtha in order to do Morning's End Part 1, I recommend doing it now to save yourself quite a bit of a headache. Either way, grab 2 barrels minimum. You can grab 4 just for safety. And once you've attained all of those, you now need to go back and speak to Lord Iorwerth once again. So go ahead and home teleport back to Tyrannon. Once you're at the lodestone, run directly towards your northwest. Use your minimap to click until eventually you come across the leaf trap / discolored grass. Jump across that. From here, run directly north till you hit the river and cross the log bridge. And once again, in the centre of the elf camp, you'll find Lord Iorwerth. Go ahead and speak to him. Run through his chat, eventually he'll give you a book. With the book in hand, go ahead and read the book of Big Bangs, run through the chat. Don't actually need to read it, as long as you skip through it, you're golden. Once you've done that, you want to home teleport back to Tyrannon once again. From the lodestone, just a touch towards your south, you'll come across a tar pit. There'll be a bunch of sulfur and stuff nearby. You need 1 sulfur minimum. If you're going to be doing Morning's End Part 2 or making more than 1 naphtha, grab more sulfur. And you want to fill up all of your barrels with tar from the little pond. So fill up all your barrels with tar. If you're just making 1 set of naphtha just for this quest, then pick up 1 sulfur. I do recommend picking up a couple though if you are going to be doing Morning's End Part 1. So at the very least you want 2 sulfur if you're doing this and Morning's End Part 1 straight after. Once you have those items, you now want to head over to Falador. And we're going to need to bank now. So make your way over to the West Valley Bank then, and it's time to bank. So, if your inventory looks anything like mine, right now you can get rid of all of your food for this next section as you don't need any at all. You also don't need the plank or your bow or your arrows on you anymore, so you can bank those items. The rest of the stuff, go ahead and keep it on you. So for this next bit, you need to take out your limestone and as much coal as you physically can. If you have a coal bag from Dungeoneering, bring that with you full of coal, as that will save you multiple bank trips, potentially. Also, if you're going to make a second naphtha for the Morning's End Part 1 quest simultaneously, you'll want a second limestone as well. If you happen to have that, good times. But once you're ready, grab your limestone and a bollocks ton of coal, and make your way to the furnace in the centre of Valley. Once you're at the furnace, you want to use your limestone on it in order to obtain a quick lime. Once you have some quick lime, go ahead and click on it to grind it, and it'll go straight into your empty pot. So with a pot of quicklime, go ahead and home teleport down to Port Sarim. And it's time to do probably the most annoying part of the quest, distillation. So once you're in Port Sarim then, you want to run directly to your west over to Rimington. And you want to go to the chemist on the far western side. So go ahead and enter the building and speak to the chemist. Choose option 3 about regicide. Then option 1, what the hell is naphtha? Then option 2 was quicklime. Then option 3 was brimstone. And then just walk away. So just outside the building on the north side is a fractation still. This is what we need to use for this next section, so watch this before you actually do it, as it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Some people struggle with it, others do it first time. So first thing you want to do is use a barrel of tar on it. Once you've done so, you'll see on the bottom left of this little thing and the bottom right you'll see 2 little valves. On the right side you want to turn the tar regulator all the way over to the right side. Once you've done that, you want to turn the pressure valve once, so the little knob is pointing north. Then in the center of the screen there's an add coal button. Click on that in order to increase the heat on the right hand gauge. The idea is you need to keep the pressure valve in the center. You want to keep the tar regulation and the pressure high and increase the heat so it stays within the green as much as possible. If it goes too low, then you'll gain nothing. If it goes too high, the still will explode in your face. So just slowly add coal, just one at a time, until eventually the needle on the right stops going up, and just add it slowly until eventually you can keep it somewhere around the green mark to increase the distillation process. Once you've done so though, you'll obtain a barrel of naphtha. Go ahead and use the quicklime on the naphtha, use the ground sulfur on the solution, and then use your cloth on the barrel bomb. So if you're doing more than part 1, you need to make a second one of these. So you'd have to do the entire process once again. But once you're ready, go ahead and home teleport back to Tyrannon. So you want to go west through the dense forest. Then you want to go north, crossing the tripwire trap of the crossbows. Then go through the dense forest again to your north. So from here you want to go towards the catapult towards your northwest. And essentially we're going to bomb Tir's camp. Go ahead and use your cooked rabbit on the guard nearby. Run through his chat. Then you want to use your barrel bomb on the catapult. You get a little cutscene. And we'll officially become a terrorist. So once we finally bombed Tir's camp, go ahead and home teleport back to Tyrannon. And we need to speak to Lord Iorwerth again. So from the lodestone, run up towards your northwest. Till eventually come to the leaf trap, go ahead and cross that. Then run to your north, till you hit the river, and cross the log. In the centre of the camp you'll find Lord Iorwerth. Go ahead and speak to him. Run through his chat. Upon doing so you'll gain a little note. Go ahead and read it. It'll say you can't. So once you've done that, you now need to head over to Ardone, and it's time to finish up this quest. So as soon as you try to enter the palace, a messenger will appear and give you a little message. Go ahead and read that. Once you've done so, just speak to King Lathus to finish the quest. So basically head to the palace, run through the chat, check the new note, speak to the king, job done. So for doing this, you gain 3 quest points, basically 14k of agility XP, 15k coins, access to the elven lands, and you also gain access to TheCompleteRS by using charter ships. You also now have the ability to wield and use a dragon halberd, which is always nice, and you now have the ability to have elves assigned to you as a slayer task. So yeah, there we go then. That is quest complete, Regicide done and dusted. Hopefully you found this guide useful, and until next time people, I'll catch you all later. Have a good one.